5 a.m. It's a great time to go grocery shopping. I was recently asked to do a video on the end of a trip, getting home, unpacking, taking care of all of our gear. But before I can get there, I have to do the first part, which is go on a trip and do the thing that I like the least, which is packing. I hate the thinking of all the things that have to be taken on a trip, that have to be done before we leave. And so it's mostly going to be hiking on this trip, and I'm going to try to do more cooking than I usually do on the channel. That was our worst getaway ever.
Well, what went wrong?
Oh, I don't know, just everything. Couldn't find stuff, house is a mess, but that's how it sometimes happens. We have made countless trips to Death Valley over the years, but it's one of our favorite local spots to visit. Plenty of free camping nearby and few people. There are a number of ways to get into Death Valley, and we've done them all, on every road, from every direction. This time through Baker, California, a tired, small desert town whose claim to fame is the world's tallest thermometer with a maximum temperature display of 134 degrees. It was temporarily turned off in 2012 when the monthly power bill reached $8,000. It was relit in 2014. We did a U-turn. John told me I had to get a picture of this. He says it's one of those speed things.
Bonneville Salt Flat.
Speed, what do they call those things? Wow. That's amazing. Because of our late start, we decided to stop short of Death Valley.
So tell me, what's for dinner?
We're having Costco's tomato soup, which is really good if you haven't had it.
5 gallons for a nickel.
Yes. And I'll throw in some spinach and a can of red kidney beans.
Maybe a little cheese?
Oh yeah, of course, cheese. And you like your crackers.
Oyster.
I didn't bring oyster crackers.
Pick up your paycheck.
Well.
You're fired.
When the sun goes down, we try to stay awake watching John's entertainment selections. John brought the entertainment tonight. You guys know who this is? Time for some heat. Need to to change the clock though, John. It's actually 5 o'clock. So what do we do when we wake up super early? Because we always wake up super early, and it won't be light until 6:40, another hour. Yeah, 6:40. So we watch Matt's Off-Road Towing. We are just outside of Death Valley at a BLM OHV place called Dumont Dunes, I think. And we are going to head up. We haven't taken the road through Badwater in a very long time. And we're going to head up that way and go all the way up to Ubehebe Crater and do a little hike around there today. So before we head up toward Badwater, thought I'd make some bread in my new baby, my new favorite toy. This little tiny bread maker makes a 1-pound loaf in here. And I've pre-mixed everything so it makes it easier to make. And I'm going to set it up and put it and kind of wedge it back in the back so it will be doing its thing while we're driving. It takes about 2 hours to do a loaf. So today I'm going to make raisin bread. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have bread makers at home, so you know the liquid always goes on the bottom. There we go. And then you make a little bit of a well. That and 1.5 tablespoons, and then 1/2 tablespoon of yeast. And they use the I've done both the quick bread and the regular rise bread that rises twice, and they taste the same. So I'm doing the quick one with the active, what they call it, rapid rise yeast, and it calls for 1.5 teaspoons or 1/2 tablespoon. Dump it right in there, and then about 1/2 teaspoon. There we go. I'll stick this in here now. It'll about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 minutes into it, it will beep, and that's when you add the raisins. Turn on the inverter. I'm gonna plug it in back here. Because there's a plug right here. And I use my kilowatt at home to see how many amp hours it takes to make a long loaf of bread. You know, the twice rise, the one that takes like 3 hours or something. And it was about 15 amp hours, I think, if I did that right. I just have to set it. Oops. I gotta be able to read it first. Okay. Mode. Should have my glasses on. There's that. And there's that. And push start. Okay. I'll wedge something up there. I forgot the butter. Our goal for the day was to enjoy the solitude of the desert and to revel in the geology of landscapes that befuddled pioneers and disappointed speculators. Pretty big. Abandoned the same year it was built. No, we're gonna take it out, let it cool off, and in the meantime, we're gonna go up to this little slot canyon. John watches a channel called That Dude Can Cook, and he recommended this knife, and John bought it for me. It's a bread knife, and oh my gosh, this thing is so freaking sharp. Here we go.
You're awesome.
Oh, you want it? You want the heel?
I love heels.
Oh. Butter?
Okay.
Butter?
Yes. Did you also bring the Sam, the cooking guy's knife?
Yes. Did I? No, I didn't. I left that at home.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on. I put my feet up. And we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. Forever. Forever.
Just outside the park is a makeshift campground that we call the Pads. There are dozens of concrete slabs that were once the foundations of mobile homes used by workers of the nearby Rio Tinto mine. It's public land, there are no amenities, but you'll not find a more level campsite.
Leave me out of this.
John says, leave him out of this.
Leave me out of this.
I can't see you.
That's good.
It's almost 6:30.
Beauty and the Beast.
And I think the hardest part of winter camping, at least for me, is the long nights. We tend to go to sleep as soon as the sun goes down. So how do you stay awake? If you fall asleep at 6 p.m., you're up at midnight. And so once again, last night we were watching a couple movies John downloaded from Netflix, Topper Returns, and The Princess and the Pirate with Bob Hope and Virginia Mayo. Anyway, so that was fun. But one thing that I would like to get, and maybe you guys have a recommendation. I know that Doug Tucker has made a recommendation. We would like a 12-volt television that is a 1080p. This one that comes in the van is 720. And of course, you have to turn the inverter on in order to operate it. And I would like one that is 12 volt. You can hook it right into the battery so you use less power. Because I always worry about power, running out of power. I know we could always turn on the generator. We're morons. But the thing about the TV though is that you have to get up to turn the inverter off. And it's like you fall asleep with the TV on, and then you forget. So it would be nice to have a 12 volt, and then you wouldn't worry about it. So if you have used a 12 volt and you've liked it, tell me what the brand is. Oh, it also, what size, John? What size do we need? Like a 20
inch.
20 inch. We want a 20 inch, so it'll fit nicely there in that corner. So we are right now at the Pads, and just outside of Death Valley. It's the most crowded we've ever seen it here. And we're going to shower. We'll probably go down into the valley to dump our tanks, get fresh water, and then we're moving on to our next destination. The station was barricaded off yesterday, but they are open today, so we're going to get fuel. And it's $4.75 a gallon.
Oh.
There are only 2 gas stations in Death Valley, one at Furnace Creek, one at Stovepipe. And as we saw yesterday, they're not always available for fuel, so you want to make sure you have as much fuel as you can before you get here, just in case. If the station had been closed again today, we would not have been able to drive up to Ubehebe. So we're glad it's open, and now we're going to go check out the north end of town. We don't need to dump our tanks, but we know that there's no dump station at our next stop. So we're going to dump now, and we're actually going to go out of the park. Different route. We're going to go north and then out through Rhyolite and then down through Pahrump and to Red Rock. And that'll give us a chance to cover some ground that we haven't done in a very long time. We're having breakfast burritos. Is your finger in the camera?
Let me show you my middle finger.
Is that finger?
You mean this one?
Yeah.
It is now.
Yes, with scrambled eggs, chili beans, avocado, cheese, and I think we've got some hot sauce.
Any raisin toast?
Yeah, but I'm not making that. I don't have enough counter space. You want me to melt this in my microwave?
No, I like it.
Okay, you like it that way. Okay. You want to eat it like a taco or like
Eat it like a taco.
Okay, and I'll just put one more
You
piece
had
on
me
there.
at tacos.
Okay, there you go. You
Am I
want
done?
Hot sauce?
Yeah, no hot sauce.
Okay. Now you're really done. We need one more plate. Here you go. Ubehebe is only about 2,000 years old. Pretty amazing. And look at all the craters. That's Little Hebe. It's a half mile across and 500 feet deep. I was trying to think the first time I ever came to Death Valley, and it was actually with my older brother, Dave, and he loved to come to the desert, and he was a bit of a desert rat. And he brought me out to the Panamint Mountains, and this is where there's a little tiny ghost town called Ballarat down there, and he met this guy named Seldom Seen Slim and all these weird characters. They all had strange names, but I think it was Seldom Seen Slim that said to my brother, "You need to go up and meet the family." And so Dave, he had a little, I think a Yamaha 125, hopped on his motorcycle and went up Goler Wash and met Charlie Manson and his family. Creepy. But I'm not going to tell you the rest of the story. I'm going to try to talk him into actually sharing the story when we maybe see him this summer. Next time I see him, I'll try to do that. But he loves the desert. He still comes down here. He flies into Las Vegas all the time to go hiking in the desert. And now we're going to go hike around Ubehebe Crater, and which John, I think, has renamed Ubehebe Crater.
Hebe.
Wow. And we, by the way, are the only ones here. Pretty neat. Little Hebe. I thought the racetrack was closed. There's somebody on that road. From here, we were off to Nevada's Red Rock Canyon, but that will be in my next video in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching.